have an FGC themed Smash tourney because we get to introduce people to the FGC music. And I mean, I've heard, plenty of Guilty Gear this weekend. Can't sing those praises enough. I've even heard like things that aren't even necessarily fighting games. I know that there are Yakuza remixes on here too. And of course, the Tekken music all weekend has been so good. Ugh.
Tekken music is lovely. Quick little shout out to Third Strike music. I know it's a little bit cliche, but I just love Makoto. And I love the way that Makoto plays because Makoto cheats, and that theme is funky. So that is definitely something to check out. Look up Makoto's theme from Street Fighter Third Strike. I promise you won't be disappointed. Street Fighter 4 Makoto's theme, it's like good. It's like good. It's a little bit different. It's not what you're used to, but it is still Makoto's theme at the end of the day. So something definitely beautiful and one of my favorite FGC tracks, or FG tracks rather, of all time.
And you know what? I'm happy to see Jakal playing again. This time, the opponent for Jakal will be DM, who has had quite a ridiculous squad strike run. If I can tell you, did go down to Leon in winners, but also beat Atomisk, beat Sonido, beat Colonies, beat Enhanced PV to get all the way here into top 8, and now has to play out that best-of-3 set against Jakal. Gonna be a heck of a set, but Jakal is the one starting off hot.
Yeah, you can still make it back on there. Jakal could have closed out that stock by either going under or over the side B. It has a couple of really big dead zones. That F smash is not going to be able to do it, somehow just barely whiffing. Something I really want to point out, DM is super suited to this kind of a style because DM has undergone so many different characters. We see Steve, we see the Aegis, and we also see Pikachu, right? So all of these are ones that he has played in the past, but that doesn't matter when you get your jump called out.
I really love that from DM too, because not only did he call out that jump, he baited it out. Jakal baited that out from DM, because a lot of times when you see the Ivysaur drift in and then start to drift back, you expect a back air as they go back to center stage, and so you want to jump over that back air, you want to try and get a leg up on the Ivy. But that time, Jakal was actually trying to get him to jump to that platform and just bonked him with that up air.
Oh my goodness, and still somehow catching the startup of side B. Back air is a little bit bigger than I originally thought it was. Now, DM just being really, really careful here, putting up a lot of blocks. Jakal is doing a really good job of just constantly breaking space, not giving DM any time to be able to mine resources, and he tries to back off, bait an option, but a little bit off position and ends up getting stuffed out by that dash attack.
Well, now the Razor Leaf's making it difficult for DM to set up any ledge pressure, but as I say that, there it is with the anvil and the down smash. Steve, with just a little bit of setup time, can absolutely rock your world, and now he gets to rock on with even more diamond tools. Look at all the resources DM has built up in just the one stock he has available.
Oh, and some of those loops coming out, maybe finishing off a little bit soon.
Oh, that could have been dangerous. Really, really smart by DM to jump off that anvil, because otherwise he was gone.
Yeah, that could have been so menacing in that moment. Now backing off a little bit, putting up a block for safety, recognizing he does not have enough time to mine any resources yet. Jakal is constantly positioning himself to be able to deny DM of that.
Setting up the powered rail in the middle of the blocks means that that minecart can run back and forth. Not infinitely, but for as long as those blocks stay around. But DM, despite having all the tricks up his sleeve, is still currently down in terms of percents against Jakal.
I love how much he delayed that, just to be able to wait and react to see if he does end up getting that hit. From that down below, up air won't be able to kill. A little bit higher up, even if it's staled by the last move, is going to be able to kill. And now, all of a sudden, Jakal needs to find a way to be able to get back onto the stage. How do you do that against Pikachu, who has some of the most dangerous buttons in disadvantage?
As it turns out, you're Sora, so you still have a decent chance to get back to the stage, and that's exactly what Jakal did. But the question now becomes, how do you fight the Pikachu on stage? Now, one of the things that makes Pikachu extremely threatening is the use of that Thunder Jolt to control the ground game, forcing you to jump. The problem is that Sora, of course, is happy to jump and stay in the air as long as he pleases, and he still will be able to make this back because he is Sora.
Yeah, you can just keep on pressing up B. Eventually, T-Jolt will not be able to keep up with your pace. A really big thing that I also want to point out, nobody calls out jumps quite like Pikachu, and nobody calls out landings quite like Pikachu. Especially when Sora, not the fastest in the business, you can definitely hunt those down. Now, punish game on Wolf, you got to have that on lock, because you already know the kind of damage output you can have.
And the problem there for DM, you saw setting up a big combo, but Jakal was able to DI towards that platform so that DM wouldn't be able to get a long extension.
Nice air dodge.
He actually called out that air dodge, but the timing was just a little bit off to actually smoke Jakal with that thunder.
Timing, as well as also positioning, you gotta always keep in mind that Wolf's airspeed is really stupidly good. So he can react one way and be like, oh man, I should go back the other way, and he is capable of doing so. But now all of a sudden, DM stuck at ledge against Jakal, rolls back on, able to get past the laser, and still finds a back air to boot. How does Jakal make it back on? Just slips between those hits.
Uses the side B, and I think the DM may have thought he had a jump, but that still living somehow. And good using the Firewolf so that he can get through the Thunder Tilt too.
Yeah, absolutely. That back air is not going to be able to do it quite yet either. That is no Pichu back air. Still not dying. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
The one time I wanted to give him some credit for like living is when,
the pressure got to him though, because that was DM never letting him go on the ledge. Every time Jakal was close to touching, there was something there waiting for him. That time it was the Thunder, and then just going a little bit too low because DM threatened with that Thunder Jolt.
Yeah. You have to go for the recovery option immediately. That was so unfortunate. Had he been a little bit higher up, had he pressed up just a second sooner, he would have been able to, you know, still fall in a little bit of free fall and snap onto the ledge before he descended too deep. Now, one really big thing I want to point out, I do enjoy Jakal's up B usage quite a bit. A very bad Wolf habit is to get into, you know, a whole lot of side Bs. T-Jolts will be able to effectively call those out because you don't actually have a hitbox until you appear. But by virtue of having a hitbox that covers you on the way up, you're able to clank with, and because you exceed the percent threshold, thus completely invalidate the existence of T-Jolts.
Well, and the other thing about that side B is that it's negatively disjointed. The hurt box of Wolf actually travels faster than the hitbox of that side B. So as long as you have something lingering that you can leave out, it will generally beat Wolf on the way up. And speaking of beating you up, you got to go out. You got to go to the right when he's going to the right. You can't go into the sword.
That could have gone a lot worse, but at the end of the day, you can just keep on mashing SDI out, and always keep in mind, Squirtle is little tiny baby, so falling forwards are going to be super difficult to connect unless you have frame perfect spacing.
Well, and this is the thing about Steve combos that gets me, is that visually they all look the same, but they differ in terms of timing, and technically they're actually rather difficult to pull off because they're pretty frame tight most of the time.
Oh, but that grab, just able to call out jumps. Look at all of those resources. No!
You're just letting him get them as he stands on that TNT.
You gotta call that out. You gotta stop that. You gotta stop that from happening because, you know, I understand waiting and timing mix-ups, but DM was more than happy to sit there because look at this island. Steve's live and die by that island. Oh, up smash.
Oh, that's a big cart too, and that's a big up smash as well to take back some of the stage, and just the one piece of gold that you need to get that powered rail. That's all you need to put that pressure on too. Diamond tools as well, because it takes Sora a little while to spawn in, but you'll never get to see him.
Yeah. So, you know what? Really good stuff to Jakal. Has an excellent counter the game. Hello? It squats. It happens.
And it's Jakal with the Sora up against DM's Pyra and Mythra. The Aegis was what DM led with last time, but now being in that second position.
Oh, now Aegis off stage, double jumping and able to still fast hold back on, catching Jakal, sitting in all of that landing lag like a sitting duck. And now just dashing in and out, side B, such a good call out, covering so much space. Good awareness and presence of mind from Jakal to be able to tech that. The reality is, all the footstool, jab lock stuff is pretty fake if you just know what to look out for.
Yeah, as long as you recognize when that footstool comes in, you can tech. And yes, if it's on a platform, you can generally get a follow-up on that as a Pyra, but there was no platform to be speaking of there. And now, dangerous recovery does have a double jump, so you can make it back, but this is even more dangerous.
Oh, is that going to stage spike? Yes, it is. This is Swirler, so edge guarding Swirler is not that, you know, not that easy. But Mythra up B, such a generous hitbox. All it's going to be is it's going to be a poke. And Swirler has plenty of time to make it back against that.
Ooh, nice little use of the Nair, though, to set up for the up air. Jakal won't be able to take the stock with it just yet, but one more solid hit could do it. Was looking for the Nair into the up B, but did not find connection. It will be DM to take the stock.
That back air was super telegraphed. DM knew that that was like the only kill option that Swirler really has. Jakal wasted a lot of time jumping and falling back down with it. And let me tell you, Pilot Mithra covered a whole lot more space with their back air. Dashing in a little bit too aggressively, this is down to the wire. The deficit that Jakal has, not all that big, but we already know what can happen to Wolf off stage against Pika.
We did see, I do believe this is DM with a 1-0 lead, by the way, because Jakal lost that last stock to the up B that looked very similar to that. It was just further off stage, but now DM in the lead.
I like that commitment from DM. It comes back to this idea of risk versus reward. You can run off and down like that and let the opponent come back on, because Wolf cannot kill a Pikachu at 0%. Wolf does not have the ability to do so, and if you mess up, hey, you'll just be able to reset neutral eventually. That's a really, really big back air. DM just sort of, playing really, really patiently right now. Jakal needs to find an opening. Falling neutral is going to be the move of choice.
I love that DM is taken to behind the platforms too, not worrying about the Wolf approach, but at 109, it's Jakal who needs to worry once again, using that up B like you were talking about to break through those Thunder Jolts.
Is that back air gonna kill? Oh! Let's look at that DI.
I would like to know, it was a strong Wolf back air, so it makes sense that it would kill, but that was
jumping.
a Pika at 66.
Let's see that. Let's see that one more time. So what we can do, we can actually check the blue DI lines, right? So that's our only guaranteed way of being able to check this out. So let's get in here. Let's go take a look. Which way is DM actually DIing? Is that the blue line? Is that it?
I can't tell. My eyesight's not good. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't even see a DI line. DM might not have even been DIing at all. And I think he might have been trying to just drift down to the ledge. Yeah, no, he literally just did not DI that at all because there was not a DI line. So that's why you died at 66 to Wolf back air.
Damn, that sucks. You gotta hold that. Anyways, game 3. It happens. We all don't DI something. I killed the Fox off of, at 70% with this back throw. Why? Because they let go of the controller, and I felt amazing. So, game 3, we're going to Kalos. How do you feel about this stage?
Well, for one thing, as a Steve, you get to eat lots of stone, and that rim is a place where you can actually mine iron because it is made of steel. But outside of the Steve, this is a phenomenal stage for Pikachu as well, and that is DM's anchor every day of the week. So we'll see how it goes. I'm also interested to see that Jakal has changed the Sora into the lead position.
Yeah. Let's see how this is end up going to play out. Jakal keeps on chasing and hunting DM down, goes for the low recovery. I like the preemptive counter just in case DM had opted to go for the minecart. But good on DM, playing it nice and simple, going nice and safe.
Ooh.
Up smash will not kill though.
Yeah, no, not the sweet spot on that. So at 121, DM still alive, but still getting smacked up by that Keyblade. You gotta find your feet on solid ground to get the big damage. And there we see once again Jakal fishing for that confirm.
Yeah. Okay, just taking the time to be able to go and get some more resources.
Got gold as well, so this could be big for powered rails being a significant factor here.
Oh yeah, 140% up here is going to kill every single day of the week. The game thinking real hard. Is it Pilot or is it Mithra?
You did have to load in 2 characters, so I guess that makes sense. We'll have to go through the same thing if Jakal loses a character as well.
Now granted, something really, really fun about this. You ever notice how in Ultimate UI menus, character portraits appear later if they're later down the roster? The same exact thing applies here, despite Pokemon Trainer being technically 3 characters, because of how much sooner they appear than Pilot Mithra. It doesn't actually pop in 3 times later.
Way.
Yep.
There's no way.
I'm like 99% confident. Based on the order they were added to the game. Anyways.
Too early on the counter there from Jakal, who was looking to close out that stock in style, but DM still gets to hang on with the Pyra. Jakal can say the same with the Sora, 163.
Yep. Oh, neutral got Yep.
He's just built like that.
He was like, yeah, I'm sure I'll get past all of these moldy hits with my 1 frame of vulnerability. And you know what? 1 frame of vulnerability, frame 1 shield. You got back to stage nice and safe. 180%. Jakal playing nice and safe. Does Pilot have a kill throw?
You could go for up throw, but I don't think they have any kill throws at all. So Jakal doesn't mind taking the grab there. And I've just been doing such a good job of maneuvering around this ledge trap. I mean, again, Blazing End has done almost nothing against Jakal.
The question is all of this extra credit worth it? Can Jakal make this stock actually last? And he is getting the occasional straight hit. If I'm DM, I am nervous. I am a little bit shaky right now. That is a Swallow 205. Do you see that happen? I do not see that happen.
You can see just in the movements, DM is a lot more unsure of himself, not able to take it out at 222.
Okay, All right.
Asura dying to not getting blast zone. That's interesting.
I thought for a second that was one of the characters that ended up appearing, and I was like, wait a second, he's not in Smash. Yeah.
Get him out.
Yeah, Pokemon Trader took a bit of time to load in. Perhaps I was also just lying and fibbing through my teeth because Pokemon Trader was always the first one that we ended up seeing appearing on the screen. Either way, not enough frame advantage to be able to get the down air into the back air, although I appreciate the attempt nonetheless.
Ooh, and that's what I like to see off the footstool. You don't go for a missed tech jab reset or anything. You go for the tech chase off of it, and that's exactly what DM got. Now, despite the difficulties in taking that Sora stock, DM is the one in the lead.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to be honest, that looked like he misinputted ledge trump, but DM was still able to make the most out of it. A back hit to the face. Everybody, this is game 3, last stock, last hit. This is down to the wire.
It's down to the Pikachu versus the Wolf, the mains for both of these players, and especially Jakal going up against a difficult matchup for Wolf, has to fight hard to win this game 3.
Yeah, ooh, that was so good. He didn't try to go for an immediate follow-up. He just tried to punish the next option out of that late hit neutral air. However, loops. Jakal has got to, SDI has got to mix up DM as much as possible, but let me tell you, that is no easy feat because Pikachu's consistency with that, especially with a player of DM's caliber, is absurd.
99% on DM as well, but now you've got the Wolf in a bad position. Great use of that air dodge by Jakal to reset that aerial momentum and get right back down to stage quickly.
Dashing in, dashing out. That's Jakal's ambiguity coming into play once again. But you can't get caught hitting Pikachu's shield unsafely.
I love that by DM, calling out the same timing that we saw in Sour. Down air is how it ends. DM closing out the game by getting a great read on Jakal's landing and then getting the 9 afterwards. Because look at this.
That double jump, that's all it is.
It's the exact same thing that we saw last time that I was praising Jakal for the first time. This time, DM waited and called out the exact same option. Jakal picked it twice in a row, and this time it led to his demise.
That drift, that spacing, everything about that interaction was so well played on DM's behalf. At the end of the day, with many really good characters in Ultimate, sometimes the recoveries don't necessarily match everything else they do. Cloud is a prime example of that. Wolf is a prime example of that. Wolf lives and dies by that double jump. You need it to kill your horizontal momentum. You need it to give you a little bit of extra vertical height, which Wolf uniquely struggles among the spacies in actually achieving. So with that being said, that is going to be DM moving on. And just like that, I believe we have our top 6 for the event. All locked down, spelling the end of our block. Everybody, first and foremost, thank you for having us on. Kimona, it has been a pleasure. We have only casted once before, and that was at, I believe, Glitch 8.5, where it was a lovely time. I had an amazing time just now as well.
I had a great time too, Dara. I can't sing your praises enough as a commentator, and I hope that I see you at a whole lot more events myself, and hope we get to, work together again as well. But for now, that is indeed going to do it for us. We are going to